Hello, Erin Manner here. Hello, friends and followers. I'm so excited for today's topic. We're going to be talking about food, of course. So drop a food emoji if you're watching this live. So exciting. And drop hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. All right. So, hello. Drop a food emoji if you're live. Show me your favorite veggie or fruit or whatever. Hey, girl. How are you? Drop some food emojis. Let me see. Did you eat lunch yet? Hello. All right. So, drop a 1 if you're new to my page. I know I've had a lot of new people on my page lately. Avocados, yes. Pineapple, so good. So drop a 1 if you're new. If you're not new, drop a 2 because I love seeing who's following me, who's enjoying my posts, and what you like. So I am going to get started. Drop a 3 if food is wasted at your house. Do you guys waste food from it like going bad? I am guilty myself, whether I didn't put it away properly or I don't know, it just goes bad. So that's what we're going to talk about today, because not only is it super important, it's probably almost as important, if not more, than meal planning, because you can buy all this food, you can stick to a budget, but if the food goes bad, then you're kind of screwed, right? So we're going to talk about that today. My system by no means is perfect. This is just what works for me. You are welcome to try this yourself or not try it. Just enjoy this for fun. So we're going to get started. So I want to start with pantry goods, because sometimes people think that if it's dry or just goes in the pantry, like it's no big deal, you know, just throw it in the container or back in its package, tie a little twisty around it or whatever. But that's how those little nasty bugs get in. Like, even if you can't see them, they are literally smaller than like a grain of rice or quinoa. That it's so disgusting, and you might not know they're in it. They can be like white or black, so this is really important that you keep your grains, your dry goods, anything in your pantry sealed properly. So my go-to is mason jars. They're effective, they're cost effective, and I think they're really pretty. Like, you can put a little like sticker on it. This specifically is quinoa, so you can see you know, super to open, super easy to use. You can still measure well. You can also get wider mouth mason jars to make it easier to like stick a measuring spoon or whatever in there that you need. Nuts, same thing. I throw in mason jars. These are peanuts. I buy all of, or most of my grains, nuts, seeds, that kind of thing in bulk, just at Kroger, their natural section. And then when I get home, I throw them in my jars. I do not post stickers on any of mine. Personal preference, totally do it if you want to. Also seeds. I have these smaller mason jars. These are dried cranberries. And I've had these for quite some time, so I mean, they're still good. You keep them in a dry area, so your pantry, your cupboard, whatever. And also spices. So most of the time we take them out of their original container and throw them in our own little jars. These specifically are from Penzeys. You can see the little sticker. I am in Columbus, Ohio. If you can, go check out Penzeys. If you can order online, I know they have a website. It's Penzeys Spices. Best spices we have ever had, you guys. They're a little more expensive. Some things are actually about the same cost, like per ounce, as at the store. You can buy it in bulk, you can buy it in jars, you can buy it however, and they just taste so much better, and spices are so key to your recipes. That's a whole nother blog or story, so we're gonna talk about that later. Those go in just like a dry cabinet as well. So that's pretty much it as far as cabinetry. Like I said in my meal planning video, we don't buy junk. We don't really have, like, we don't buy chips. We don't buy anything else like that. So the rest of the stuff is just fruits and veggies. And this is what's super important, because I feel like these have a ticking time bomb on them when they're gonna go bad. The most important thing is when you're at the store, always buy fresh, you know, not overripe veggies. If you can get away with it, depending what it is, you can buy underripe, you know, like bananas, peaches, apples, that kind of thing, but never buy overripe unless you're going to use them like that day, okay? So let's start on the counter. These products or these food items would be like garlic, your onions, potatoes, bananas. If you need fruit to ripen, put them on the counter. So peaches, avocados, pears. But my secret is once they're ripe or your desired whatever, throw them in the fridge. Throw them in your veggie drawer because they will stay ripe. So for me, we live in a very small apartment at this moment while we build our house. So we don't have a lot of like pantry space, but you can totally put these few items in your pantry. I have this cute little bowl. I have my onions. I have another little dish with all my garlic, and they just sit in a dry back corner of my kitchen, or like I said, you can put them in your pantry and they will stay good. Keep them separate from other produce like potatoes. For potatoes, nothing fancy, like I said. I just have this old container. It actually has feet, but I don't have them on it. Never shut it. That will make them like musty and just go bad. Right now I just have purple and sweet potatoes in here. Purple potatoes. But again, keep these separate and in a dark place. And then bananas. Preferably not half eaten. I was hoping my daughter wouldn't want this for lunch so I could show you. Obviously, you know, it's ripe, so it's like the skin's going bad. But keep your bunch away from everything. If you follow any tips from today, make it this one. Keep your bananas far, far away from the rest of your produce. Whether you have to put them on your kitchen table, the counter, your island, the living room, whatever, keep them far away because they have a certain chemical compound or whatever in them. I can't think of what it's called. Any scientific people on here? In them that make other fruit ripen faster. So if you notice, if you keep them by your other fresh fruit, they will go ripe in like a day. Which, if you want your other fruit to go ripe, then throw a banana and your peach, your avocado, whatever, in a brown paper bag together, and they will go ripe. But again, preferably not half eaten. This should go in the fridge. I just put my daughter down, so haven't gotten that far yet. So now let's talk about the fridge. Again, these are most of my personal preference, what works for me. It also depends on your refrigerator, your system, and all that good stuff. That's why my lemon's ruined. Yeah, probably. Bananas, like, they're crazy. They have their own world. So let's go into what I put in the veggie drawer. So most refrigerators, if you have like a newer version, whatever, have a veggie drawer and a fruit drawer, also known as high humidity and low humidity. So you can definitely look this up, what fruit particularly needs what like humidity. This is just what works for me, again, so follow if you want. If not, do whatever. So for my fruit drawer, let me get stuff ready. I actually put in my mushrooms. So I have used half of this container. I took the plastic off. Once you open mushrooms, you should either keep them in their cardboard box alone, like this, or throw them in a paper bag because that helps keep the moisture out. Because for some reason, mushrooms get really weird if you like keep them in plastic or like contained. So I usually I'm lazy and I just keep them in their paper box. Tomatoes. Now, I feel like this is totally your preference. A lot of people put these, like my mother-in-law puts her tomatoes on the counter in the sunlight, where I put them in the fridge. I just feel like they taste better. Like the coldness brings out the flavor. Hey girl! So totally do what you want to do, alright? So again, fruit drawer. And then also strawberries. So these are half gone. I just leave them in the container. Normally what I would do is wash them all with a solution of like depends how much you buy, I should say. I usually do about 1 cup vinegar to like a huge mixing bowl of water, and then I'll throw all of my fruit in after I purchase them. Just let them soak for a little bit. Just helps get like the pesticides or any dirt or anything off of it, and it makes them last so much longer. So these I did not. My daughter demolishes her fruit, so honestly I don't have time to do that these days. But that is all I should have done this Friday when I went grocery shopping, but that is all I have right now that I would put in there. But other things would be like your peaches, your apples. I throw my apples in the fridge. They will literally last a month. It's insane. But again, wash them. Apples are huge that you want to wash, or buy them off like the Dirty Dozen organically. But that's really it for my veggie drawer, except, you know, other veggies. Just making sure I'm not missing. All right, and then for my produce drawer, my veggie drawer, I will throw in, this is like the first time I've ever bought this much carrots. Usually I buy the 2-pound bag, but I bought 5 pounds of carrots. I just leave them in their plastic bag. I know it's so bad for the environment. I shouldn't keep buying plastic, but we just can't afford like the organic bunches right now, but totally do you. But they stay perfectly fine. I mean, even with that moisture in this bag, carrots hold up. They're a really sturdy vegetable, so if you're prone to making produce go bad, just stack up on carrots. I feel like they last forever. Another veggie is my broccoli. So I purchased these mesh bags probably off of Amazon, to be honest. I live off Amazon. It's a set of 4, and I just purchased them like this, and I just throw them in my fridge like this. So I feel like the mesh really helps because it lets some air in, but I don't know. It just works better than keeping them in those plastic bags. Another thing is my peppers. I never put them in a bag at the store. I never put them in a bag or anything here. I just throw them right in my drawer. Make sure you wash them off before you use them. You should be washing all of your veggies off before you use them. But I mean, again, I've had this one in there since Friday. It still looks perfect. And again, I like the 3 bump. Scroll back through my post if you want to see a tip about that. This poor zucchini kind of got beat up a little. He was on the bottom, so he has some cuts in him. But I keep my zucchinis in there. I keep my cucumbers in the produce, no bag. And my cabbage, I just purchase as is. Usually by the time I get home, I'll take off like the outside dirty, loose leaves and then just put that in there. Some other things that I would throw in there are like my lemons, my limes. I don't know, I feel like they just taste better. And, oh, avocado. So like I mentioned, if you want them to ripen, throw them on the counter, like if you buy them rock hard. I actually just bought a set of, like one of those bags of like going bad produce, a set of 4, literally like, look how squishy that is. But I threw them in the fridge, so they are still good. So once they hit your desired firmness, softness, whatever, just throw them in the fridge and they'll last like that. Don't forget about it, obviously, but it'll stay in there for a few days, a week. And also, when I use lemons, I never really use a whole lemon or lime. I just throw them in containers like this. I usually try to face them, see how that's like facing each other, or this one moved, but I'll like face them down to kind of like seal it in. You can also purchase those vegan, it's inspired by like those beeswax saran wrap type thing, but they have vegan versions. They look super cool. I really want to get my hands on some, but you can use that on like put it around your lemon and it'll seal it in. And of course there's cool contraptions that you can buy that like you throw on the end of a banana or your lemon or lime or whatever, and that keeps it good, but I like to keep it simple. I like to keep it minimal, and this is just what works. Also, I will do my onions like that. There's a huge controversy of if you should save cut onions, we have never gotten sick. We have never gotten food poisoning. We have never, I don't know what other crazy things they say about not using cut onions, but I'll always just throw it in a little container like that, cut side down, and it stays good for like a couple days. So that would be my veggie drawer. And at our house that we just sold, our fridge had a third drawer. So it had a big veggie drawer at the bottom, and then like 2 crisper drawers. So one I would turn into the fruit, which like I talked about, the mushrooms and fruit and stuff. And then my other one, I would put like my more delicate veggies. So like my arugula, my spinach, my huge box of spinach. And you can start to see that it's getting moisture in there, so at this point I will throw a couple paper towels, or as soon as I buy it and use a little, I'll throw some paper towels in there, and that will soak up the moisture to keep your leaves crisp. I feel like that's really important, and I can obviously tell when I forget because it'll go bad in a couple days, or it just feels really soft, and like that doesn't make a good salad. So also my lettuce, again with the paper towel. We just used this last night, so my husband threw it in some paper towels to keep it, I mean, and you can still see, you know, like you can hear that it's crunchy, so that's what you want. Also, I will keep, again with the paper towel, this is cilantro, and I use the stems, so it kind of looks ugly. I just like cut it off, but you can still see it's very green, very still, it smells good. Like, you can tell when cilantro goes bad because it will not smell like cilantro. That's when you need to just toss it out. So I just wrap it up like that. I do have some green onions in there that I just throw in. Kale would be the same way, so make sure you roll it up, keep it crisp. And I think I touched on most of... This is all the produce that I have in my fridge right now. So I just pulled it all out. If you have any questions about other specific like fruits or veggies, like corn, which I was just about to touch on, if you aren't going to cook it for a little while, pull it out of your plastic bag, put them separately on the counter, but you should really shuck them first because it gets like moisture in there and they just mold super fast. This is broiled, and we just throw it in foil and then cooled it down and threw it in the fridge like this. So I actually just threw a cut broiled corn on my veggie wrap. It was so good. So if you have any specific questions, I'm trying to think of what else, like melons, I'll put on the counter once they're ripe. When you can tell how a melon is ripe by smelling the end, and it should smell like a yummy cut fresh melon. And then at that point we'll cut it and we'll throw it in the fridge. We just throw them in a big mixing bowl. They honestly don't even last a day. So yeah, that's all I really had. Drop a 3 if you do any of these. Does anybody already, for the most part, do this type of system, like food storage? But that's all I have for you today. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll get to them after this live. And if you're new to my page or love what I do, go back and scroll through my page. I have tons of recipes. I have a live video on meal planning. And just a lot of good info, I think. And let me know what else you guys want to see. I love doing this for you guys, and it's so much fun. And who doesn't like food? Come on. Well, all right. I hope you have a great Tuesday. Bye.